for Beyond the Gates, July 7th, 2025. Okay, y'all. So first things first, let me know y'all thoughts on today's new episode down below. Look, I forgot, y'all. I forgot. I thought I had already did this review. Hold on, let me set this right fast. I thought I had already did this review, y'all. But yeah, what did y'all think of the episode? I told y'all Randy wasn't gonna do dilly freaking squat. Now he did come in. Randy did come in and say that he shot the guy. He ain't said he took him out of there. He said he disposed of the body, but he think there was a witness. I said, what led you to think either it was a witness or it wasn't a witness? And at first I thought June was the witness and he did something to her or something. But yeah, on today's episode, so we're gonna start with Chelsea, Allison, and Madison. With Chelsea and Allison, I think Allison gonna be a crazy person that stalked Chelsea, but I could be wrong. I do think later this week they said something about Chelsea and Madison have problems. Madison starts to doubt, having a relationship with Chelsea. Now I don't know. I could be wrong, but yeah, I think Allison gonna be a psychopath, but we'll see. But yeah, Chelsea took her precious time. She took her precious time. She should have been told her. I don't know what she did. I don't know if she grabbed her hand. I don't know what she did. But I was like, okay, now, if you're in a relationship, you supposed to stop that immediately. But yeah, she just over here telling her she want that old thing back. She want her back. They were so good together. I said, girl, you married? What the world going on around here? But yeah, Chelsea took her precious time denying this girl, but Madison was eavesdropping. But Chelsea did end up saying that she was in a relationship and she in love with her. So Madison heard that and she left. She left. But the entire time, Allison kept on and kept on. And what did she say about her husband? What they said his name was Craig. What did she say? She say he was abusive or something like that? I was like, I don't know now. We just gotta keep watching because I'm starting to think she's one of those psychopaths or whatever. But yeah, that's all they was talking about. Allison was trying to get Chelsea back. She ends up telling her, she like what she got going on. She in love. Allison was talking about, so you just met her, you don't really know her. I mean, that's true. That's definitely true. We still got to find out more about her, where she come from, why was she acting the way she was acting from the beginning. I know she said why she was doing it, but that don't mean she was telling the truth. Let me see. Let me scan to see. Allison trying to convince Chelsea to come back. Madison was eavesdropping. Um, let's see. Is there anything else about Chelsea? Chelsea tells Allison that it's too late. I wrote in red. I said Allison gonna be a crazy. Excuse me. Let me see if there's anything about her before we move on. I think that was it with them. Randy and Kenneth. So they went back to that scene where he had the weapon on him. He told him that the money was a distraction, that they was just gonna use it. I want to know if everybody knew that this was the plan, cause Joey said that was his money. So was that a part of his cut, or not a part of his cut, but was that for doing the job, or what? Did Bill know about it? Well, Bill did say his part is done, so I don't know. But yeah, Randy ends up telling him how, the money was just a distraction because they knew he'd be so focused on it. This man don't sit down. I said, he don't sit down. Now, obviously, I don't think they would have let him walk out of there, but regardless, he don't sit down and start counting the money. I said, what? If you're in that situation, why would you sit down and start counting the money? I don't know. But yeah, then what else happened? Randy ended up telling, what he tell him? Randy said the money was just a distraction. He ends up saying that they finna go for a ride or whatever. And I said they should have showed it. They should have showed it because I don't believe Randy. I said I don't think he did nothing. I don't even think he shot him. Well, obviously he did shoot him if he actually in Martin's house. Now I don't know if that's him or Martin just losing it or going crazy, but it might be both. He might be in the house, he might not, or he might just be going crazy. But yeah, he done came back. Randy came back. He told Joy. Joy was asking him if he got the job done. He was like, yeah, he got the job done. He said he shot him, but there's a problem or whatever. He's like, well, what's the problem? He's like, he think there was a witness. It was a woman. So I was thinking it was June. I was thinking it was June or whatever, but he was like, he not sure if it was a witness. He not sure if they saw anything. I said, dude, you ain't shooting nobody. I'd be shocked if he actually shot somebody. Well, the thing was, he just supposed to shoot him. He's supposed to be taking him up out of there. But yeah, I don't think he gone nowhere. I definitely don't think he gone nowhere or whatever. But yeah, Randy good for nothing. I said he didn't want to do the whole look gambling. He didn't want to do gambling. He didn't want to do that. Now he don't want to dispose of nobody or take people out. I said, what you thought you was supposed to do? Just work at the casino or something? I was like, they need to well, I said transfer him out or something, but he's supposed to be leaving town allegedly if Joey don't take him out. Cause it look like Joey's seen either some money missing or something's off, but Joey can tell something's wrong. I was like, yeah, Randy, you better skedaddle before it's too late. But what else, Smitty? Smitty still hasn't given up. He ends up getting a call. I'm assuming that was his editor, and that I think they said his editor was a woman. So I'm gonna say she said he had to stop the investigation or whatever. But then he was like, he closed. He just waiting on the source to give him some more information. So she gave him time. He was like, I promise I'm gonna let you know. You know what they say. So he found out that Vernon. They said it was a witness or something like that, and he said Vernon Dupree. And I said, he got y'all now. He getting closer and closer. But my thing is, he gonna be shocked when he realizes this is about his husband. He gonna be shocked when he realizes it's about his husband, though, doing all that digging. And look at you. Excuse me, just making trouble for yourself and your husband. Over here want to be detective. No, he just doing his job. I told y'all from the jump. I said he gonna be the one. He's gonna be the one to uncover, and look at him. Look at him. Martin should have known better. But yeah, like I said, Smitty was on the phone. They ended up telling Vernon's name. I think Martin came in, but when he came in, what was that? When he came in, I assumed that Martin heard everything. He did hear him mention his granddaddy Vernon or whatever. I was waiting on him to say, "Yeah, I heard you on the phone" or something. Now Smitty lying to him. First it was Martin lying to Smitty. Now Smitty lying to Martin because he asked him what he was talking about. He's talking about some after Malone he gonna do a piece on Vernon. I said, "Liar, liar." So far. But yeah, Vernon and Danny. Danny, I ain't. Hold on, y'all. Let's see if they try to call back. Danny ends up asking Vernon about Martin if what's bothering him concerns Martin because she could tell when they was at the house that something was going on with Martin or whatever. I said, yeah, it's gonna become more and more obvious, especially since they was at the Danny was with Vanessa. They was eating and stuff or talking or whatever. And he came up, he grabbed that server dude or whatever. I think he said, "What are you doing?" or something like that, but it wasn't him. Now, for a second, I thought it was him too, because they didn't show his upper body or anything. So I was like, he back, y'all. He back already. He ain't went nowhere. But now the dude claimed that he told him that he was quitting or whatever. But I doubt it. Didn't he say even after he got the money, he wasn't going to go nowhere? Now, I know Randy allegedly shot him and disposed of the body or whatever. But we can't trust that. We definitely can't. What y'all think? Let me know. What else? Excuse me. Let's see. Let me scan these notes. Jacob and Elon. Jacob ends up telling Elon that they got to break in the case with Leslie. He making it obvious too. I said he making it obvious too. He talking about, so don't talk to Smitty no more about that. I said it's only a matter of time now. Y'all all going down. But yeah, Jacob tells Elon they got to break in the case with Leslie. I think he said something about a scratch on the helmet or something like that. Elon ends up questioning Jacob about his meetings with Smitty and stuff. He told him some things, but he didn't tell him everything. And he told him, he doesn't want him talking to Smitty no more. I said, you might as well just say you involved at this point. But he ends up alerting Vernon about Smitty getting closer and closer, so we'll see where that goes. I said, they might as well just go and tell him, because he going to find out regardless, but we'll see. Let me see, Vernon. Oh, I said Elon finna make it obvious. Doesn't want Jacob talking to Smitty. It's revealed that Vernon testified for Malone. He testified for him to help him out with a case or something like that. Danny ends up asking Vernon if what's bothering him is about Martin. She knows that something's up with Martin. Joey thinks about, they showed Joey think about Vanessa, and Vanessa think about Joey. She think he innocent. I said, what? I don't understand what they think he did. I mean, no, I don't understand what they think. I'm saying this wrong. I don't understand who they think Joey is. Like, he don't threaten, he don't sit up here and made threats and everything. What y'all think he playing or something? When they was telling him about Joey or whatever, she's like, no, she just making these faces like she don't believe it. And I was like, girl, okay, you just saying it because you laying up with him. That's what it is. Hold on, y'all. But yeah, I was like, y'all not, I don't think none of them, Doug don't, I can't wait till we get to his part. I can't wait till we get to Doug part. Because what he thought he was about to do. He over here trying to stop Randy from leaving like Joey told him and stuff. Talking about what's going on here. Just walking there like he about to do something. I said, now, sir, you need to mind your business. You already on thin ice as it is. When you just saying how he was dangerous to your wife, now you over here talking about, so don't go nowhere and all this other stuff. Let's have a drink. He just told you the man had to leave. Joey finna take everybody out. But yeah, let me see. Smitty and Martin. What Smitty and Martin was talking about? Let's see. I think that's when he said he was gonna do the piece on Vernon. He was lying. What else did he say? Let me scan it. Let me make sure. I skipped something. I already said how they showed Joey thinking about Vanessa and Vanessa thinking about Joey. I don't think I wrote down what was Martin and Smitty talking about. I think they was just talking about Vernon, and Smitty was lying to Martin and everything because he knew doggone well that conversation was not about doing no piece on Vernon. But next we got Vanessa and Danny. So they end up meeting up or whatever. Excuse me. And that's when she decides to tell all her husband business. She was like, he done got himself into some trouble with Joey or whatever. And that was one of the scenes where she was like, that's a rumor. That because Danny was implying that, they heard some things about Joey. She was like, that's a rumor or whatever. You can't really believe that. I said, okay. I said, we'll see how long you last, lady. Excuse me. But yeah, they was just talking and stuff, and she done told that Doug, because at first Danny thought that he was cheating, and I said no, Vanessa cheating. She over here trying to gloss over that. I said she don't want to tell people. I said no, don't try to gloss over it. You cheating. He may not be cheating, but you is. Now he gambling and stuff, but she told Danny that he got a gambling problem or that he owes Joey some money and all this other stuff. So Danny was like, do they need help? And she was like, no, they took care of it or whatever. And she was like, she seen him. They ran into him one day when they was there just blowing off some steam or whatever. I said, these people tell all they business. They don't care. They don't care, do they? I said, what if he don't want you telling that he over here gambling stuff? You just over here snitching like it ain't nothing. You telling this stuff? What if he don't want, I don't, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say she don't respect, well, technically she don't respect him. But I don't know the word I'm looking for, but y'all should know. What y'all say? How y'all gonna know if I don't know? Let me see. What else? We already talked about Chelsea and Allison. We already talked about Randy. He says he got the job done, but they have a problem that there may or may not be a witness. He don't even know if somebody watched him or not. And that's why I thought it was June, but I'm assuming that's connected to whoever performing these robberies and stuff. But yeah, it don't look like June is gonna be what's her name, Barbara. It don't look like she's gonna be her. People saying that it's gonna be Haley Mama. That photo is the key to finding out. And it was something else they said. But regardless, y'all know how I said that lady look familiar. I forgot. I wrote down her name and I wrote down all the movies she played in. But it's a lot of them, y'all. Some of them on BET. Some of them on BET. But yeah, I said I knew she looked familiar, but I don't know. It's somewhere in these notes, y'all. They took so long to play the doggone episode that I done lost it. I done lost it. But let me see. Allison, I already said Allison gonna be crazy. Naomi and Jacob. Naomi ends up calling Jacob, telling him to come to the hospital. It's an emergency or whatever. People are speculating that it was either gonna be Derek or June. It was June. She got attacked or whatever. I think they said she had a head injury. I said maybe now she'll start to remember who she is. But then again, Naomi did end up getting a photo. She took a photo. She took a photo of the photo or whatever, and it had a number on it. So she tried to call, and whoever it was hung up. They hung up. So I'm assuming they're going to get ready to show us who it is. I was waiting on them to show Haley picking up the phone or somebody we know picking up the phone. But yeah, let's see who else we got. Let's see. I already talked about Vanessa and Danny. Oh, did I say about Martin? He thought the dude was Kenneth, and he came over there. And then Danny and Vanessa were looking at him like he was crazy. They knew something was up. Danny ends up saying she's going to talk to Vernon in the morning about what's going on with Martin. Let's see what else. Joey and Randy. This the part. Yeah. Joey and Randy. He's talking about so he got the job done, but there's a problem or whatever. So they got to talking about it. I said, not only that, I just realized he ain't have on no gloves, did he? I said, you fool. I said, you going to jail. I said, you going to jail. Yeah, I just realized when he told him, at first I thought he was telling him that he left the weapon or whatever, because he was like, you left something or whatever, or you forgot something, but he was talking about his money. But yeah, I said he ain't have on no gloves. I was like, yeah, you going down, buddy. You better be afraid. Be very afraid. But yeah, they was just talking about everything that happened. He's like, there may not be a witness. That's when, he had, I think, was it Joey or Randy that had the weapon? I think it was Joey, because he had to go back to the car and get the bag of money. Because he was like, where's my money? And he's like, he forgot so much going on. I was like, yeah, he might as well took him out right then and there. He might as well just took them out. So then Randy said, let me see. Randy said he shot Kenneth, but he think there was a witness, and he's worried. He just kept talking about he worried and stuff. I was like, yeah, he not cut out for this. I don't know how he got involved. Maybe they'll let us know how he got connected to this man. But yeah, I was like, yeah, this ain't for him. He need to go try something else. He need to go somewhere else. But yeah, so Doug walks in, and he sees Randy reach and Joy a bag, and he sees the weapon or whatever. He's like, what's going on? And I was like, you need to mind your business. I said, you in enough trouble. You don't need to be questioning nobody. You better turn around like you ain't seen nothing. But instead of doing that, Instead of doing that, he decides he walks over or whatever, and he questioned them about what's going on. I don't know if it was Joy saying that Randy had to leave town because he told him he had to leave town because there may or may not be a witness. Hold on. And Joy don't want to get back to him. So they were just saying how he about to leave town. He's like, but you got enough time for a drink, don't you? I was like, you should. I partially said the word. I ain't said it all the way. I was like, you better get out of town before you ain't got no choice. Before you ain't got no choice or whatever. I don't know if y'all heard me. But yeah, he's talking about something, but you got enough time for I think first Doug asked if everything was okay. And I said, sir, you in enough trouble as it is. He talking about you got enough time for a drink. So they go to Uptown. I think that's the name of the place. And then he was like, wait, Vanessa's coming. He's like, oh, she's coming too or whatever. So she comes and he tells what he's seen. And I was like, have you learned nothing? The man told you he got eyes and ears everywhere. Oh, did he tell Randy? He might have told Randy that. So then the man, he tells everything he saw about the weapon, about Randy being scared. I think Vanessa was like, are you scared? He's like, I'm terrified. I said, you finna be more terrified? You finna be more than that, buddy. I said, you better shut your mouth right now. I said, I hope you don't sit up here and tell these folks what's going on. Yeah, I know they don't be caring. But yeah, what else? I think the last scene with them was him saying he's terrified. And she's like, you are terrified of Joey? She think he innocent. Oh, sorry, she didn't get out of La La Land. I was like, I don't know what she got going on. I don't know if she just, what they call it, hypnotized by this man or what, but she need to get out of La La Land. They said, they say she's supposed to give him an ultimatum or something this week? I think they did say she's supposed to give him an ultimatum. I was like, yeah, she'll be a gun or something. She'll be, her body will be getting disposed of one of these days. Let me see. We already talked about, didn't we talk about Smitty and Elon? No, we ain't talk about them yet. Naomi, Jacob, June, and Madison. So I think Madison said she had a head injury or something. They jumped her, they beat her up or whatever, and I think Naomi was trying to get her to be questioned by Jacob. She was like, no, she need her rest. So that's when Naomi takes a photo and she goes out there and she takes a picture of it. And then she tries to call the number. So I'm assuming we finna get ready to find out who June is soon, y'all. That's if they don't decide to take it off for another week or so. Talking about the doggone. What they said? Why did they say they was taking it off anyways? I don't know. I can't remember why they said they took it off for a week. But yeah, let's see. Smitty and Elon, he ends up coming back. He was like, he found out that Vernon ended up, testifying for Malone, and he wanted to know about that. I think Elon told him something about he just came forward for him to help him. I don't know what he said. I can't remember, y'all. Let me see if I wrote it down. I don't think I wrote it down. But yeah, he gave him some load of baloney. And that's when he ends up calling Vernon. Vernon come, and he was like, Smitty getting closer and closer to finding out the truth or whatever. But yeah, let's see who else we got. I already talked about Doug, Randy, and Vanessa. Told them you terrified. How they gonna protect you and they in trouble themselves? That's what I'm trying to figure out. How is they gonna protect you? What the world going on? All y'all gonna be in what they call it, indebted to this man. What I'm terrified. If you gonna tell somebody they can help. But then again, the police chief and them ain't gonna do nothing because they in cahoots together too. So it really don't matter. It's somebody I know I forgot. I feel like I forgot something. We talked about Elon Vernon, Doug, Randy, Vanessa. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Let me see. Martin done came grab. Oh, I know. When Martin got to the house, Terrell was sitting down or whatever, and they showed somebody in the burgundy. I had to rewind, and I still couldn't tell. Because didn't Smitty have on the burgundy shirt too? Maybe he hallucinating. Didn't he have on the burgundy shirt? But, so Martin got home, and Terrell said something. And then he just started having these little flashbacks of what Kenneth said about his kids and stuff. So then he walks over there, and he sees Kenneth. Kenneth got a little band-aid on his head or whatever. And what he said, checkmate or something like that. And I said, I'm kind of hoping that he is right there. Because we know Randy, regardless of if he actually was there or not, I don't think he gone. And if he is gone, he done told somebody something. I don't think it's just over with like that. I definitely don't. Especially now with Smitty snooping around. But yeah, he walked in, he's like, checkmate or whatever. And I said, if he actually is there, I was like, I don't see no, I can't say the G word, but I'm gonna say wound. I don't see no wound or whatever. I just see him have a band-aid on his head. I said, Randy ain't good for nothing. I was like, they sent the wrong person to do the doggone job. I should have known. We should have known, y'all. Was it something else? Oh, this week they said that Martin ends up trying to protect his family, and another thing, he's supposed to do something in regards to Terrell. What did they say? They said something about Terrell or whatever, but I'm assuming that's tomorrow's episode. Well, yeah, I think that's it, y'all. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces. Have a great rest of the night and be safe.